Welcome to Royal Oak Comics Party. We're here today with Alexa Dexa, electronic toy kestrel pop artist.
It was so close.
Toy kestrel electronic artist pop.
Yes.
Ow!
That's me.
It was so close. I'm so sorry. It wouldn't be Royal Oak Comics Party if we weren't totally unprepared.
No, I love it.
Messed everything up.
I love it. I think I'm going to start calling myself that instead. Artist pop.
Artist pop.
Artist pop instead. I like it.
Cool. Well, you are in the midst of a tour right now.
Yes, I
correct?
certainly am.
Where are you going on your tour? I mean, I know this is one place.
Yeah, so I started in New York and I came here to Detroit, and then I'll be going to Madison and Minneapolis, Chicago, Memphis, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans.
Can you just tell us where you're not going?
I'm not, this is where I'm not going. I'm not going to the West Coast yet because I'm waiting for like the bus I take to sort of branch out farther west. So I'm waiting for Manifest Destiny of the MegaBus is what I'm waiting for.
That sounds violent.
Yeah, but everywhere else I'll be going.
So is it expensive to travel everywhere on the bus, or?
No, well, it depends. If you book it super early in advance, three months, or as soon as they tell you, like, announcement, we've got tickets for your spring travel or whatever, and then you'd like go on immediately and you're like, oh, I'm gonna take that $1 bus ticket and that $1 bus ticket and the $1 bus ticket over there.
Like literally a $1 bus ticket?
Like $1.
So for what we paid, I think on our last comics adventure, we could have gone on tour for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know if do we just do it too late or something? Or we're doing the wrong
it's
bus?
because I insist on taking the Greyhound because I'm scared to learn a new bus.
Oh.
MegaBus frightens me, and I have so many good Greyhound experiences that I want to continue racking those up instead of trying to get new experiences from trying a different thing.
Yeah, we've never been arrested on the MegaBus.
I know.
The Greyhound bus.
Right. But neither.
Neither, no. Greyhound has dollar tickets nowadays as well, in case you were wondering.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. How does that? Oh.
But so doing a bus tour, though, you have to make longer stays? Or do you do stuff like come in that afternoon, play the show, and then jet out that night?
It really depends. Sometimes, usually, my favorite thing to do is like a 2-day stay. So I'll come in on the bus, I'll play a show, and then I'll spend the next day looking around, just wandering, seeing what I come across, and then I'll play another show, and then sort of the next day I'll be heading right on out.
Well, thanks for coming on Bus Talk.
You're welcome. I know, it's so fascinating.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your instruments and what the toy part of the Kestra is?
Yes, I certainly can. So I have a large collection of toys. So the ones that I bring on tour with me is like the very concise version of Toy Kestra. But that consists of an 18-key Show and Hut toy piano and some 7 dusk bells to be precise. They're like rhythm and band, like dusk bells for tiny children. And the iPhone has beats that I've made housed in it.
Cool.
Sometimes I have an alarm clock.
If you did like a gigantic show sometime, like a full Toy Kestra, would you still have to use things that were just giant toys? Like you would have to use the piano from Big that you like dance on?
I've seen those, and I don't really like them that much.
I don't know if you can actually buy that, can you? Like a giant piano that's like 20 feet long?
Like the rolls on the floor
Yeah.
that you like dance on. Yeah, they have them like at FAO Schwartz or something. You can totally buy them. They're not really for me. I don't really like them. But like this is my ideal like performance setup. I want to have like a sideshow truck, and then like instead of having whatever else on the inside, like carnival games that you throw balloons at, it would be me and like a little like theater set behind me and like all the toys that I own in like different positions that are nice, and I'm like building a mechanical toy Kestrion, so it'll play itself, and that would be in there, like with different toys playing itself, and then the ones that I'm playing, and like maybe people have to like insert 25 cents into like the side of the truck, and then I play a song, and I shut down and close the curtain, and then someone puts in like maybe now I want $1, and it's like I come back out and I play 2 songs or something. That's the ideal. It's like it's in the future.
There was who's the guy? He had a song called "I'm So Depressed" and like why young people use drugs. He was like a outsider blues guy, but he had like his records out or whatever, but never stopped traveling and playing. And he had a motorhome where the side opened up, and he had his little, like, his living room was the stage, and he had a little drum kit, and he did like one-man band drum kit and guitar, and had his amps and stuff in there.
That's the dream.
It was like a
Cool.
crazy carnival that could show up anywhere.
That's
and of course,
exactly
they
what I want.
abused him to no end, where like hippie festivals would be like, oh, he'll come for next to no money.
True.
So like, well, he's just some oddity instead of like getting the respect as a brilliant songwriter. Maybe one day you could be abused in such a
I honestly,
deep and
it's the
exploitive way.
dream. I'm waiting for it. You know, it's the dream. I want to join the circus. I'm ready for it.
What were you talking about mechanizing, some word that I don't understand?
Okay, so I'm calling it the Toykestrion, but it's based off of the Orchestrions, which are like kind of I'm not going to say a date because I know I'm right, 1890s dance hall organ. So it's like they have all the instruments, and they like either played by a roll or some kind of mechanized way that they would just play themselves. And
Is it
so
like wind instruments too, or just like string instruments?
It
or
was
what?
wind instruments. Like percussion is super easy for that, so a lot of percussion, mallet instruments, and yeah. So it was like, I guess in those days, I think the way it was, like, you'd have the live band play, and then while the live band was taking a break, you'd have the dance hall organ on for a little bit, and they're so much fun. I really love them, and I just love this idea of having this toy orchestra like really behind me playing itself, because sometimes I think like I make these beats and a lot of people don't really it's just coming out of nowhere. You don't know that I've made them. You don't know, you can't really experience them as well as if you saw them like being played by these super adorable toys. I think it's a much better ambiance.
Would there be like those Major Magic robots of you playing each one of the instruments?
No robots of me, but there's gonna be like a little plush monkey with finger cymbals and like a cute like glockenspiel, and yeah, it's gonna be super adorable.
And someone who didn't grow up in Michigan has no reference for what Major Magic is.
Oh, true. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I just know that like it's not gonna happen.
Like, what is it? The big band thing where it's all the robotic animals that play the drums and things like that. Like, instead of just a drum set that plays itself, it's like all these terrifying animatronic like animals that play the instruments.
I mean, like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and they have like those like big.
I think that used to be Major Magics, right?
Okay.
Chuck E.
No,
Cheese,
Chuck E.
or
Cheese,
it's the competitor.
Chuck E. Cheese was like a big company, but Major Magics was like the kind of mom and pop competitor. So they had a walrus band leader, and it would just play the song.
Those are fun.
Do this horrifying
Don't make me
motion.
regret not having one of those. I don't think I can add that into the budget of getting it into the Toykestrion just yet, but those are fun. I wouldn't say no. Let's get them to like, they just do like one, this is the dance move they do.
You might need like a huger RV for
Yeah,
that,
it'd have to be bigger, but I have some space. All of my things are relatively, I mean, I have a lot of toys, but they're all, they're tiny. It's not like I have a million, like, super grand pianos. They're just, like, baby grand.
So you're able to, like, pack up all that stuff into something you can take on the bus everywhere? How small does it get? Is it in one suitcase or something, or what?
Yeah, I have a backpack. It's like a camping type backpack, and so like the desk bells are in there, and some clothes are in there, and the CDs are in there, and like a lot of snacks are in there, and then I snack all the time, and then the toy piano I just carry in my arms, pretty much like this, and it's interesting because people just ask me the weirdest things about that toy piano when I'm coming around with it, like.
It's probably a good way to sell CDs on the bus.
It is, actually. In a lot of bus stations, I've had people ask me to play my toy piano, and sometimes they buy CDs after.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're traveling around. We try to like keep all the comics on our laps spilling onto the
you just
floor.
like just tape them to you, like
sell them on the bus.
Yeah.
It's strange that now when I pack for going out of town for shows, like a bunch of the stock is in the checked bag, but then it's all like a micro version of it with just a couple copies of everything is like redundant. It's kept in my carry-on in case somebody on the bus should happen to be interested or seem extra like manipulatable or drunk. Then those people love it.
Or all of the above.
Right.
You got to be prepared. That's how I feel about it. People won't know if they can't see it. They'll never know. Walking advertisement. That should be you guys all the time.
I think it is already.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm becoming more like Batman every day, where I'm Bruce Wayne all the time. And it's only at comic shows can I become Batman. And where I'm not even trying. Like, don't even care. If you don't buy my CD of my music, you don't buy my comic, all year, it's fine. Because I'm going to become Batman that 2 days out of the year when we're at some show, and it's all going to make it worthwhile. I don't even mind if people don't even need to know I make comics. Well, we have a TV show that says we make comics every week. Okay. But but most of the year, most of the people I meet don't need to know. Only strangers.
That's fine. I feel like most of the people that we know and see almost every week don't know that we make comics.
You guys can't let the fame hit you too hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh my God.
Keep the egos in check.
So have you made like a countrywide super tour many times over at this point, or like how long have you been doing this for?
This is my 4th do-it-yourself tour. It's really just the eastern half of the United States, although the last tour that I did was in Europe and Scandinavia. So this is the 3rd one for the States.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How did it go over there?
In Europe?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was really nice. The culture was really respectful of the music and a lot less focused on like the money. So I ended up, I mean, some of the cities were just so good to me, like Berlin and Oslo. It was like I'd play one show and then I'd have like 5 shows lined up after that from the one day that I was there. It was just sort of really amazing.
Like you get asked to play more just from playing the one show?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that like has never happened to me here. It's like America, it's like you play one show and then you go and you play the next one. And in Europe, it's like, oh, you play one show, oh, we love you. Come back and do it again. So that was really exciting.
Everybody here's withdrawn and
yeah.
I don't want to make a fuss.
No. A fussless people.
So what about other places in the U.S.? Like what are some of the places that you've enjoyed playing, or have you had weirdo adventures at any of the places that you've gone to?
I have adventures like everywhere I go, and they're not really weirdo adventures. It's more just like I really wander almost aimlessly sometimes. Like I just like to walk around cities and see what's going on. And there have been a few occasions where I've sort of come across something that I've like really wanted to go to and just didn't know that it was actually there. And then I'm like so excited. Like for example, when I was in Houston, I was staying with a friend, and I was sort of on the bus and on the way to his place, and I saw this sign for Rothko Chapel, and I was like, oh my God, that's here. It's right here. It's like a 20-minute walk from where I'm staying. And oh my God, I can't believe it. And so I went and I spent I was in there for a long time, like 2 hours just chilling in Rothko Chapel and like meditating in there. So that's kind of the thing that happens to me more often is like I find these things that I didn't even know that I was like really needing to see or that like I knew about and then just came across, and it's like really happy coincidences that happen.
Cool.
It is cool.
When you go to certain places, are there people that you already know there? Like, do you set up shows in places that you don't know anybody? Have you met people in some of the places that make you want to go back there or find you shows? How does that kind of part of it work?
It's a little bit of both. Like, I'm going to Minneapolis and it's my first time there this time around, but I do generally where I'm going, I usually have friends or family, so I don't really have to worry about where am I going to stay or what's that going to be like. You know, I generally have some friends either from college or just family members that are spread out, so yeah, it's nice.
Are you just finding, like, in the places that there aren't already friends or other Dexas living there, do you do like a couch surf kind of thing, or what? Like, how do you set that up? Like, where are you staying to keep the budget MegaBus? Yeah,
the budget MegaBus. So yeah, usually I'll see if I have like friends of friends in certain areas. Like I really try to extend my network outward and see like who do I know that knows other people that I can stay with, or occasionally couch surfing. And I actually really like to do that because it's so nice to me to meet people and to like I never want to stay in a hotel. Like you go to the hotel and you're not going to experience really the city. So
yeah.
It's just sort of nice to know that you're going to have someone, even if you've like with the couch surfing, if you haven't met them, but now you're like, you're going to have a new friend wherever you're going and can sort of experience through them. The city is like a really nice thing.
Did you ever have, like, we've been some places and like the friends that we had there, like it's like the opposite of the hotel thing where like they want to show you a million things and like never go to bed and be outside walking around like the entire time. Like
Yeah, one time I was in Memphis, and well, it was kind of my fault. I was in Memphis, and I had been on the bus for like 10 hours getting there, and so my friend who I was staying with, I was like, oh my God, yeah, let's just do something, because my legs have been like, they've been crunched up in a seat all day with the toy piano on top of them. Like, let's please just do something. And then like, when I said do something, like, I didn't really mean like, let's have a crazy huge adventure. It was kind of more like, yeah, we'll do like a little, so maybe like 30 minutes or an hour before I pass out, because I'm a total grandma, and I can't really, I'm like, past even 11 p.m., I'm just like, ready for bed a little bit. It's hard to keep me awake. And so, yeah, he was like, it was like midnight, you know, and we're like, okay, yeah, well, let's go for a bike ride. And I'm like, okay, yeah, bike ride, that sounds, yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, we'll just, you know, go for like a gentle, no, it was like a 13-mile bike ride. And then like, it was like hoisting the bikes over a huge fence and like sort of sneaking into this like park area where there were like skunks and other type animals, and like just hoisting the bikes. And after a point, I was just like, so the bike, just sleep. So that had,
you had piano leg?
Yeah, I had piano leg, and I was really like, I just get so tired, and like, plus like you're on the bike and you're like, oh my God, it's been like, it's mile 12, I'm really feeling it in my legs right now, you know, when you've been on the bus all day, you're not really.
Mile 12.
You know, you're just really ready for bed at that point. So sometimes that happens,
yeah.
but most of the time I'm just like, just so you know, like, I'm a grandma, so you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna pass out like any minute now.
Oh, it still sounds like fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's an interesting lifestyle. Like, I won't say it's an easy lifestyle. I won't say that it's a glamorous lifestyle, but I will say, like, it's fun. Like, if you have the mindset for it, and you can get down with that kind of being on the bus, which I love the bus. I don't have any problem sitting on the bus. So it's kind of nice just to sort of be somewhere else and be out of your regular routine.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're on the bus, like, for a million hours? Like, are you just like reading, or are you
I get car
Facebooking?
sick.
You get car sick.
If I read, yeah, I can't read on like.
What do you do then?
Well, I've had, like, for a while, one of my really good friends had given me a little logic puzzle book. And so for a while, like, you know, well, most of the time, I mean, first and foremost, I pretty much just think on the bus. Sometimes I'll do, like, maybe I'll write a little bit. But most of the time, I like to think and look outside and see the landscape most of the time. And then, like, if it's starting to get, like, okay, maybe I'm done with that, maybe I'll do a little logic puzzle. And then.
That doesn't make you get car sick?
No, for whatever reason I can write, I just can't read. It's like the reading just makes me feel like a nauseous lady. But yeah, I mean, I listen to music, and I just sort of zen out, because that's the thing. Like, the bus is the one place when you're on tour that you know, like, this is my space. Like, it's not anyone else's space. It's not a public space. This is like, this seat is mine for the next however many hours, and I can just be here, and that's fine. So it's kind of a good zen spot, really.
That's cool. Do you think? I don't know. Like, do you think most people? I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, I think, like, a lot of people, they don't think about going and touring around and being able to see a lot of things in the country without paying a lot of money. How did you get, like, who was it that kind of got you into that? Like, was there a certain person, or how did you, like, figure out that you could do that? Or did you just spontaneously, you're like, I gotta get out of here, and I wanna go see everything?
Well, I mean, I'd been wanting to tour. Like, I was at Berklee College of Music, and I was, you know, taking classes and making music, and I was like, I really want to be touring and playing music out in different places. And so that was, like, a goal of mine, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it, but I was taking MegaBus to and from, like, Berklee back to New York and back and forth, and so I knew that you could get cheap bus tickets. And I also hate planes, and so that's kind of, you know, I don't really want to fly anywhere if I don't have to. But I think what sort of spurred my touring was my cousin Lauren was in Flagstaff for, you know, a specified amount of time. She was there for a while, and she was like, you have to come visit me here. We're going to have a great time. Come down for, like, the summer. You can do, like, work exchange in the hostel that I'm working at right now, and we'll just, like, explore. And then she was really gunning for it. She was like, you have to come visit me. And I was like, all right, I'll come visit you, and on my way back, I'll do my first tour. So I went to Arizona, and then I went to Milwaukee, and from Milwaukee, bussed my way back to New York and played some shows, and it was amazing. And I'm like hooked on it now. I'm like, every 6 months, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get out there. Where am I going next?
Where do you work? Like, what's your normal job that you are able to like take off for that long, or do you just kind of pick something up whenever you get back? Or
yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. Like I do teach music lessons when I'm back in New York, and it's not a lot of music lessons. It's usually 1 or 2 days a week I'm teaching some music lessons. I've carried out some odd jobs here and there, either for like family members or like at retail or other type of spaces. But when I go on tour, that's like a self-sustaining thing. Like I'm selling albums, I'm making some money on the shows. And so that's sort of also a really nice thing is like to travel cheaply. It's like not only is the bus ticket really cheap and I'm not paying for hotels, but I'm also making money while I travel. So yeah, so it's not like I have to like make so much money before I can go do this. It's like I'm going to make some money when I'm at home, and then I'm going to make some money when I'm touring, and then I'm going to come back home. And it's just sort of like a, depending on what I want to be doing, like sort of a thing.
do you have to like chill out on consuming expensive, crazy things?
I don't consume really crazy, expensive things most of the time. I'm like, well, it's interesting, like, you know, a lot of expensive things I don't eat. Like, the most expensive thing that I want to eat nowadays are kale chips. I'm like, oh my God, I really need kale chips right now.
It's
I
like
need
the
them.
most expensive thing there is.
Is there like,
Unless you're making them.
I need to, that's like next on the list. Like, how can I make my own kale chips really well? But yeah, like, so that's like, you know, $5 for the container, however big that is, and I'll go through that in like...
Which lasts about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know, 30 seconds. I can maybe get it to 2 days, and I'm like... But I don't, like, I'm not going to buy that every day. But yeah, I mean, otherwise I eat like vegetables and like beans and rice and like relatively inexpensive things out of the supermarket. Like when you don't eat meat and you don't really eat like a lot of dairy or any dairy, you're kind of... It's hard to rack up a super high bill unless you're going somewhere like you want really...
That's true.
Ultra gourmet things like kale chips.
I can teach you how to make really bad kale chips.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take you up on it.
Do you carry like a sack of rice everywhere with you too?
No, I honestly like mostly what I keep is like granola and nuts, like nuts and craisins are in my, it's like, and it's insane because you can really, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a wimp, but like I hate having like to carry really heavy things in this backpack just because I have like really, my shoulders get super tense really easy. So it's like clothes
You're wearing
weigh
a backpack
lot.
right now?
I know, right now. Right
I was going to say it's very small. I didn't even see it.
No, but when I am wearing it, it's like it can get so heavy so fast. So like I'm wearing like the same clothes all the times. Like I don't care. I'm picking out comfy things and I'm wearing those.
You're like, I already got a damn piano in this backpack.
I got the piano in my hand. I'm like, I don't need to carry much else. But like the food, I end up carrying like a heavy amount of food on my back just because like the last thing I want is to be somewhere like you don't want to be on a 10-hour bus ride and not have a snack. That's like the worst.
Yeah. I don't know. What do we bring on the bus when we go busing places? Not terribly much.
A gallon of whiskey.
I guess if you don't have to drive, you know.
It's kind of like granola.
It's the same, no?
Came
It's
from grains.
Welcome to grain
We're in
fans.
such like talk about a Zen thing, like a nihilist, like the eye of the storm of nihilism, where it's like silent and it's, and I even felt like we had broken that a little, like the last time we were out, well, like drawing on the phone.
Oh yeah.
That
We
seemed like
both got our phones and we were drawing stuff.
It broke our like calm, because I don't know. I don't know if you go into like the zone, where I think that's what I was talking about with the Batman and Bruce Wayne thing, where it's like I never go as far into the zone as when we're out of town. I don't know. I find it like freeing, and maybe not your true self, but like a cool, way more like more focused and super intense version.
Cooler self.
Cooler self.
I guess like for me when I'm not on tour, I'm pretty much like in my studio, which is like the basement of my dad's animal hospital. I'm just kind of in there like all day, every day, like sending out emails or working on music or like recording things. So that's like a very uncool version of me because no one sees me. Like there's no one to be cool to besides like every once in a while I bust out the dance party, you know. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put the tunes on. I'm just gonna dance in the studio by myself.
All the dogs go crazy.
The dogs upstairs go barking, and but otherwise it's like I'm really just that's for me is like in the zone, and then I'm out in the world, and that's like a really nice relief to be away from like a computer screen and to just sort of like really experience the outside world fully is like a blessing after being in your cave, your dungeon cave.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Would you recommend like doing something like that to anybody, or just to people who have like something to sell, or I don't know. I mean, like I feel like, at least for me, I like having something like I'm dispersing things as I'm going, you know. There's comics, there's books, there's videos and stuff, like going out to everybody, kind of Johnny Appleseeding weird stuff all over the place.
I mean, if you do have something to Johnny Appleseed, as he so nicely put it, I think there's no better way like to reach people than in person. And I've noticed that like you can make very strong connections with people after 5 minutes of having met them and had like a real conversation with someone. And that's just something you can't do on the internet. It's just not possible. People might be connected to your music, but the chances of them like really connecting is much greater when they're seeing you in person. So I think if you do have something that you want to be sharing with people, that the best way to do it is to be out there and meeting new people and showing them and talking to them and having like this connectivity with the outside world is just such a strong and powerful way of doing it.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we actually have to wrap up.
I think so.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thanks for telling us all about touring. I feel like this line of questioning was basically like, how can someone impersonate you? I feel like we only asked you questions about like economic things.
No, but I think it's good because for anyone who's interested in doing it, I know for me, like I had the hardest time, like there is no real good guidebook, like how do you go out and tour? How do you make that work? And so I'm happy to give that information to people who like really want to do it and just don't have any like guide, you know? I think it's helpful to sort of have like a reference, like how can I do this and not like end up with my pockets full of holes and living on the side of the street for a few nights, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Also, you have a music video coming out that we worked on together with Natasha Bestie. That's going to be coming out at Our Detroit this Friday, February 20th, 2015.
2015, yes.
2015, just in case you're watching this in the future. But thank you very much for being on the show, Alexa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and we'll see you all next time on Royal Oak Comics Party. Goodbye. This episode brought to you by MegaBus.
Right.